Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. I am John Pace, aka Mr. Inspiration, and welcome to today's broadcast, Midday Inspiration with yours truly. Do me a solid, if you will, like, share, and invite this broadcast with someone else, someone you know that might be in a space and they're looking for inspiration. Listen, I've had this thought recently, a prevailing thought, a prevailing meditation, if you will, and it is simply this phrase: what happens next is up to you. Come on, work with me. What happens next is simply up to you. It's in our control. You know, the world, we are going to have conflict. We're going to have crisis, right? There are going to be problems. Some of those problems that arise, some of the problems that develop are problems as a direct result of decisions that we've made. Then, on the other hand, some of the crisis, some of the problems, some of the adversity that we encounter may not be directly associated with a personal decision that we've made. Maybe it is a personal decision that someone else has made or the lack thereof. Nevertheless, one thing that's common for all of us, for me and for you, is that we live in a world where experiencing and navigating crisis and problematic situations is ultimately inevitable. If you haven't been in a crisis before, keep living, because eventually you'll live through something, you'll experience something, and it will require you to be able to navigate a crisis. I love the way Jesus says, in this world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer because I have overcome the world. I've overcome the world, and I am the peace that will help you overcome the world. Family, it's a very simple exhortation that I really want to delve into as it relates to what happens next is up to you. We are, and we will, always have the opportunity at the end of a crisis that we can reset our lives. We can go on from the crisis and we can continue with life and be a better version of who we were before the crisis developed. I don't know about you, family, but I want to go into the new year knowing that I survived and or thrived or both this year. Like this year has been a year of successes and failures. It's been a year of me advancing in some areas and maybe not advancing so much in other areas. But nevertheless, I can embrace the next year. I can embark on a new year with a refreshed mentality that I am responsible for what happens next. I'm responsible for managing my perspective on what happened last, right? I can't change what happened. But family, here is a revelation for everyone. Even when you can't change what happened, you can change the way you see it, the way you process it, the way you apply it. I no longer want, I don't know about you, and maybe this is for someone who's listening today. You know you've grown. We know we've grown when we no longer process what happened as a burden, but we process it as a benefit. That we now know there's a benefit to the thing we have gone through. I want you to be inspired today that what happens next is up to you. It doesn't matter what kind of year you have had leading up to this very day, but it does matter, family, how you move forward in lieu of the life you've experienced leading up to now. You and I can both lean into the rest of this year with the mentality that we want to enter, cross over into the new year, cross over into the next year, knowing we are empowered to make better decisions, better choices, to position ourselves for something so much better than what we've experienced this past year. I want to continue to unpack this thought, but I wanted to set the stage. I'm going to come back. And I'm going to unpack thoroughly this idea. I'm going to use a few scripture references, a few storylines, right, to bring validity to this mentality, this meditation, this thought process. Everybody type in for me before we leave. Type in, what happens next is up to me. Come on. What happens next in my life is up to me. What happens next in my ministry is up to me. What happens next in my relationship is up to me. What happens next in my business is up to me. Even considering everything that has happened, everything that didn't happen, everything that should have happened, everything that I missed, everything that I did not make the right decision on, considering all of those things, all things considered, what happens next is new. What happens next is fresh. What happens next is different. And it'll be different simply because I made a decision that what happens next is solely going to be up to me. God's going to do his part. No doubt, God's going to do his part, but there is a part we play in what's coming next just as much as God plays his part. Listen, I'm John Pace, again, Mr. Inspiration. Mr. Inspiration, inspiring, encouraging, and motivating you one message at a time. Join me for the next audio broadcast. I'll be unpacking this idea. What happens next is totally, unequivocally up to you. Until the next broadcast, be inspired. And let no one tell you you can't accomplish what you put your mind to. Peace.